Hello and welcome to a special episode of the Entertainment Buzz. If you haven't noticed already, thanks to the lovely graphic, the 89th Academy Awards take place Sunday, February 26th. We've got a special Oscars episode to get you ready. I'm Jake Ferguson, and I'm joined by fellow panelists Marie Monarch, as well as Karen Brownman and George Jane. How we doing tonight?
Cold.
Cold?
I'm very cold. Cold in the studio.
It's going to be a wild night. I'm excited.
I am excited, yeah. It's going to be fun.
It will be fun. It'll be a fun episode. And you know what? Why don't we just start off by going over the 9 films nominated for Best Picture.
All right, let's do it. First up, we have Arrival, starring Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner, based on a short story from 1998. This film explores what happens when 12 monolithic spacecrafts arrive on Earth. Amy Adams plays a linguistic expert who has to figure out what the aliens want with planet Earth. She is working against the clock as other countries grow antsy and seek to start a war with the aliens. Despite science fiction not usually being the Academy's cup of tea, Arrival was a great critical success.
This next one will be familiar to any theater fans out there. Fences, based on the August Wilson play, chronicles a complicated African-American family from 1950s Pittsburgh. This film features heavyweights such as Viola Davis and Denzel Washington, who is also the film's director. Davis and Washington have a complicated marriage that is strained when Washington gets another woman pregnant. August Wilson wrote the first draft of the screenplay before his death in 2005.
Coming up with the cornerstone of the Oscars, we have the war movie. Hacksaw Ridge is the incredible true story of a pacifist army medic who served during World War II and saved 75 men. Andrew Garfield takes the lead role as Desmond Doss, a man who refused to fire a single bullet. While initially being shunned by the other soldiers, Doss becomes a hero for his bravery on the battlefield. The film was directed by Mel Gibson.
Next up, we have Hell or High Water, a Western thriller that follows 2 brothers who commit bank robberies to save their family's ranch after the death of their mother leaves them with high mortgage payments. The brothers are played by Chris Pine and Ben Foster. Jeff Bridges plays the sheriff tasked with their capture. The script had been on the 2012 blacklist for most liked unmade films. It's great to see it finally getting the recognition it deserves.
Here comes one of the most inspiring movies you'll see all year. Taraji P. Henson, Janelle Monáe, and Octavia Spencer headline Hidden Figures, a biopic about the untold stories of African-American women's part in the space program. These women work on equations while dealing with racism from white men and women at NASA. They are definitely some of my heroes.
So get ready to start dancing along and singing with our next nominee. La La Land centers around the romance between an aspiring actress and jazz musician as they navigate their careers and fame in Los Angeles. This film reunites Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, whose chemistry is undeniable. La La Land has tied the record for most nominations and has some great references to classic Hollywood.
Anyone who's ever looked up their house on Google Earth will appreciate our next film, Lion. Lion tells the story of an Indian boy who falls asleep on a train and wakes up hundreds of miles from his home, unable to find a way back. He eventually gets adopted by an Australian couple, but never loses his desire to return home. 20 years later, he uses Google Earth to figure out which village he came from and reunite with his family.
Another gritty family drama, Manchester by the Sea, is a film about a man who has to return to his hometown to care for his nephew after his brother suffers a heart attack. Casey Affleck stars as Lee Chandler, a quiet guy who has to face dark memories when returning home. The film garnered a nomination for newcomer Lucas Hedges, who plays Affleck's nephew.
Our final Best Picture nominee is Moonlight. Moonlight is told in 3 separate parts and chronicles the life of a young, gay African-American man living in a rough neighborhood in Miami. The film has been praised for its intersectional look into the characters' lives. The film is based on a play called In Moonlight, Black Boys Look Blue.
There you have it. Those are the 9 nominated films for Best Picture in 2017. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, but don't go away, because we've got stories from the biz, analysis in the acting categories, and panelist predictions you simply won't want to miss, so stick around. Welcome back to the 2017 Oscars, right here on the Entertainment Buzz. So the Academy has the option to nominate 10 films for Best Picture, but this year they decided to go with 9. Ever since they changed the system, they were allowed to nominate 10, but they decided this year they didn't really need it. Is it true that they really didn't? Or should they have nominated a 10th film? Let's discuss.
Let's do that. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of snubs out there. I feel like
Yeah.
you can't like just say one movie isn't worthy unless it's like Sing or something. But
But I feel like it's tricky because, yes, they could have added a 10th, but at that, why not add an 11th and a 12th? I feel like there are always
Right,
going to be
that's-
movies that got snubbed.
But that's why you need. I feel like the standardizing of it.
Well, they had
works.
that when they had
did, yeah.
5.
I think especially because, we see in the supporting actress category, we see in the different acting categories, there are actors and actresses that are nominated, but their films aren't. So it kind of surprises me that they think these performances are possibly award worthy, but the films aren't. I understand there's a certain level, but especially since there's space for it, I don't know why a 10th one isn't nominated.
Do you have an opinion on what the 10th one would be? Because I have an opinion.
Oh,
that.
go right
The
ahead.
Nice Guy, starring Ryan Gosling.
So
sure.
good.
That was
Two,
amazing.
two movies with Ryan Gosling in it in the 10. Fine, sure.
I don't think that's a problem.
No, I don't either,
God.
especially since it's him.
That's-
I don't know. I feel like that movie kind of slipped under a lot of people's radars, which is probably why it didn't get nominated in the first place. But it was a very underrated movie. I felt like it had a great chemistry with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling.
But you could say that with Elle,
You could
which
say that,
has,
sure.
more foreign films. Hunt for the Wilder People
Yes.
was the highest grossing film in New Zealand of all time that came out this year. It was great, and no one heard about it here.
Yeah, there's also Deadpool, which makes some people laugh, but
Yeah.
it was nominated for comedy. So at the Golden Globes.
I
So
don't know if it would be worthy of like Best Picture. If you're gonna put
It's interesting.
Deadpool, I love that movie. But
Yeah.
that's not like a Oscars wins Best Movie of the year. Like I
But
don't know.
who's
Could
to
get
say?
nominated.
Yeah.
It could get nominated. Okay.
Who's to say? So there's a lot of different things to think about, and there's a lot of different movies, but that's why the Academy makes their choices. They're the ones that get to make the call.
It's true.
So those are definitely some things to think about. And as always, the Academy nominates incredible actors and films. But here at EBUZZ, we can't help but notice that the Academy failed to nominate a few of our favorite movies and performances. So why don't we go around and discuss who we think got snubbed by the Academy this year? Start with Marie.
All right. Well, speaking of Deadpool, you guys, I think Ryan Reynolds got snubbed for Best Actor. I don't know why comedies don't get the same treatment
Absolutely.
as like dramas. The Oscars do not give comedies a chance.
I think it's just because people, or at least the Oscars, the Academy, don't think of it as like a high level of art.
Yeah.
It's more of
Bridesmaids
just
got
like
nominated.
It did.
That
Did
is
it?
true.
Yeah,
That is
Bridesmaid.
true.
Melissa McCarthy
Okay.
was nominated for
But
Best
I
Supporting
feel like
Actress
that's
that
more
year.
of a mainstream type of humor. Deadpool is a pretty like, okay, rated
Up
R,
on the-
down
That's
and
true,
dirty,
definitely.
off the rails kind of. I don't know if that'd be, but Ryan Reynolds did do a
It
very
was
He
good
did a
job.
great
You
job.
can't argue that it was a great performance.
Yeah.
It really was.
Okay, who's next for snubs?
I think it's Karen.
My snub is Tom Hanks for Best Actor in Sully. I feel pretty strongly about this one, mostly because I saw it, and as well known as Tom Hanks is, he melted into that role. I swear I did not recognize him because he had to get completely white hair, just like Sully Sullenberger has.
That comic mustache.
And I think, honestly, I would replace Andrew Garfield in Hacksaw Ridge. War
Yeah.
movies have been a little overdone, in my opinion.
Especially that movie. I didn't feel like that was kind of his role. I felt
Right.
Like, yeah, he's,
And Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks.
Tom
I mean,
Hanks.
American treasure, dare I say?
No, I would agree with that.
Absolutely. I think he's fantastic, and I think he did a great job, and it's a great movie. And I think that a lot of people were surprised that he didn't even get looked at in a lot of the different award categories.
All right, what about you, Jake? Your snub.
So my snub for 2017, Amy Adams,
Yeah.
Best Actress in
Yeah,
Arrival. How
absolutely.
could that not happen?
Are you just
Amy-
a big Amy fan?
I'm
I
a big
feel?
Amy
Yeah,
Adams
so
fan.
am
I think she's fantastic. I think she's been able to perform in comedies, whether it's Talladega Nights. She
Yes.
was great in that movie.
she
I
was
mean,
in
but
that
she's also
movie.
great in
Yeah.
stuff like Arrival, Nocturnal
Enchanted.
Animals.
Enchanted. She has
The
quite a range.
classics.
I'll tell you that.
What a classic Enchanted was.
No, but
yeah,
I think
phenomenal.
she's extremely talented, and the
Yeah.
fact that her film Arrival, as in many different categories, but they decided not to for her, especially with having Meryl Streep
Yeah.
Yeah.
in that
That's
category. I
true.
think Meryl Streep is possibly one of the best actresses of all
The
time.
queen, really.
But I don't know if it was better than
It's,
Amy Adams.
it's like she gets nominated just to get nominated.
Exactly.
It's like here's
versus
the
because
Meryl
she's Meryl
Streep
Streep.
nomination.
Right.
Yes.
Locked in.
Sure.
Amy Adams had to speak Mandarin in that role in Arrival. It was incredible. I
Yeah.
don't know about you, but my Mandarin's a little rusty.
It's true.
Great. All right, well, my snub for this year is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them for Best Original Score. I don't know if you guys saw this movie. Did you see this movie? I
Yes,
definitely
I-
saw
yes.
and heard this movie because this score was unbelievable. Second I got home, I looked up the score, bought the whole thing.
Yeah.
This is just,
Who wrote the score?
Good question that I will look up later.
Great.
But I just had a really good time listening
Yeah.
to this music back. From the moment the movie starts, you get that feel of Harry Potter, but it's also unique on its own right because it does have a little bit of like the original scores of Harry Potter
Which is so
woven
tricky
into
because
it.
it's just that's such an amazing theme, like Hedwig's theme from Harry
Yes.
Potter.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, so they did incorporate stuff like that, but that's why I think the original score was best in that specific movie because they were able to blend old stuff and make their own thing, and God, is it their own thing.
So, who was there anyone in that category you think should have been out because of that?
What was the movie with Chris Pratt in it?
Jennifer
Oh,
Lawrence.
Passengers.
Yeah,
you
Passengers.
know.
I listened to a little bit of that soundtrack. It felt just like a sci-fi soundtrack. It
Yeah.
didn't feel like it was good, but it's just like a.
It didn't differentiate.
Right, run of
itself.
the mill.
Yeah, it was run of the mill, so maybe kick that out. I
Yeah.
don't know.
You never know.
I think that's pretty fair.
I think it's fair too. So there's great thoughts as always from our panel, and now it's time for us to analyze the 4 actor and actress award categories. Now, while we may agree with some of the favorites, no two people view the film the same way.
That's right. We're going to start with Best Supporting Actor category. First, we have Mahershala Ali in Moonlight. Next, Michael Shannon in Nocturnal Animals, Dev Patel, Lion, Jeff Bridges in Hell or High Water, and Lucas Hedges in Manchester by the Sea. Personally, I think Mahershala Ali has it in the bag. I thought he was very incredible. Also, he wasn't in the whole film, and that's usually very tricky to have that kind of lasting impact for a film that you're not in the whole time.
Was he just in the first
I
segment of the
believe-
3 segments?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a very good job on that. I agree.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think a lot of people have him favored, and I rightfully so. And I think it's really interesting. I mean, how much do you gauge whether they had a real imprint on the film?
Right.
And I think Dame Judi Dench was not in her film very long when she won.
Yeah.
So I think it's really interesting, but I think a lot of people can agree that it was an amazing performance, and I think that we all know who it's going to.
To play devil's advocate,
Please do. Please
Guys,
do.
We all know, except.
but
Yeah.
Dev Patel is back.
Yes.
I love Dev Patel. This movie also was just so intense. It kind of like really brought me back.
But this
to
is
those
the thing.
good old
Why
days.
was he nominated for Best Supporting Actor?
That is-
Because
yeah,
yes,
that's fair.
it's about him as a child at first,
Yeah.
but it's really about his journey home
Right.
as an adult. Maybe that's a miscategorized issue.
That also is fair.
Definitely. I guess
And
we'll have
something to think about.
It is something to think about. And I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I guess that's true.
That's right. So now we're going to move on to Best Actress in a Supporting Role. We have Viola Davis for Fences, Naomi Harris for Moonlight, Nicole Kidman for Lion, Octavia Spencer for Hidden Figures, and Michelle Williams, Manchester by the Sea. There's a lot of great talent in this
It's a
category.
hard one.
It's really, I think a lot of them are seasoned actresses, and I think they did an amazing job, all of them. I mean, the one hard thing is Octavia Spencer, everyone in that film, Hidden Figures, did an amazing job.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think it's, anyone could have really gone in there from that film.
That's the issue, is you kind of spread it
Yeah.
between the 3 roles.
And I think that's why she doesn't have as much of a chance as she maybe should. I really think it's Viola Davis.
Yeah,
I
it's-
agree.
It's definitely
Well,
Viola
it's
Davis.
interesting that last time they were both nominated was for The Help, and
Yeah.
it was sort of
Oh,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But I agree, Viola Davis, queen.
Yeah, she's like the top of the top right now. She is like in all headlines, and I feel like
Yes.
she's probably pushed to the forefront. And so, yeah, I feel like she's got to walk too.
Yeah.
If I could say just one thing.
Again,
Please do.
Of course, sure.
No, I love it. No, seriously, go for it.
Michelle Williams, Manchester by the Sea.
Interesting.
Also, not in it as much,
And that's
but
the
when
big
she
thing.
is in it, her performance is astounding.
Yeah.
That
I think she's the dark horse
conversation.
there.
Oh, absolutely.
I will say I agree. Viola Davis again really stole the show, but she, I would say, should have been categorized in Best Actress.
Actress.
And she chose to do that, which might be smart if it helps her win. But when you look at it, should that be allowed?
It's like a nice strategy she got.
It's a
going.
No,
strategy.
It's a
she's
strategy.
definitely
It is.
scheming right now.
Scheming. She's plotting.
I like
need
that.
that
I
ass.
don't mind it. So you go, girl.
All right, well, this year's Best Actor category is loaded with some talents. We have Andrew Garfield for Hacksaw Ridge, Ryan Gosling for La La Land, Viggo Mortensen for his role in Captain Fantastic, and Denzel Washington in Fences. So,
I think you're missing someone there.
I know. What I want to talk about
Yeah.
is one person.
Yes.
Casey Affleck. Manchester
I
by the Sea. I love this movie,
Yes.
but I feel like Casey Affleck made this movie.
Yeah.
It felt like a real indie type of feel the entire
Yeah.
time because the way he acts. I've never really seen a movie with him, and I feel like whenever he was speaking, it felt really real. It felt like kind of just like awkward, and there was a lot of pauses, and he interrupted people. That when you interrupt people in movies, it feels a lot less forced and a lot less scripted.
Yeah.
And he just like, oh man, it felt so weird watching that movie.
He got the like uncomfortable aspects
Yes, absolutely.
down, because I was uncomfortable watching him interact with a lot of people in this movie.
I felt like that was the point of the movie.
Yeah,
like, he was his character was just like so like in over his head with what was going on. So he definitely executed that so well. So I feel like that's the lock for. Well, maybe not.
I
a lock,
think his
but
main
in my
competition would end up being Denzel
Denzel
Washington
Washington.
Yeah,
in
absolutely,
Fences, which is especially because that was a role that he had on Broadway. So to kind of take it from that, Viola Davis and Denzel Washington had it on Broadway together.
Oh, okay.
And then to really bring it to the screen.
And the chemistry there is incredible. So I think it's a really deep, true story that a lot of people really want to see, and I think it's possible for Denzel, especially because he had such a hand in making it too. In the film.
He directed it.
Yeah, so I think it's still Casey Affleck's to lose, but I think this year could be a real surprise for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So more to come there.
I would like to see things get shaken up
Oh,
a bit.
let's shake it up.
No, I like buy the book things. That's what I enjoy. Of course you want it shaken up. Come on.
All right, well, let's move on. For Best Actress this year, we all know Emma Stone for La La Land. We have Natalie Portman for Jackie, Meryl Streep and Florence Foster Jenkins, Isabelle Huppert in Elle, and the beautiful Ruth Negga in
Gorgeous.
Loving.
Absolutely gorgeous.
All right, you guys, what are your thoughts?
I think it's going to end up being Emma Stone
I mean, yeah.
for La La Land.
Yeah.
But I thought that was well deserved. I thought she kind of made the movie. La La Land still had great filmmaking, great cinematography, but I think it would have lacked a little something without her.
Yeah, and I feel like both Ryan Gosling and her, although they were phenomenal in this movie, maybe not the best singers in the world, so maybe that's your detractor from that. But I felt like her performance was everything like the Academy likes.
It made it real. And I think a lot of times, especially in movie musicals and a lot of things like that, especially about going and making it in Hollywood or making it, in the entertainment industry, a lot of times that can come off as it's fake, or it can come off as, not true, but it seemed very real.
And it's
I
been
think
done a
that's why
million times.
It
too,
has,
where
so
it's
you
just
have
like,
to stand out.
Yeah, I want to make it in the big league.
Yeah, and I think she really did.
And I think her appeal is also like she's kind of seen as like that girl next door, that's someone you could be like best friends with. She just
I'll
has
be
like
best
that
friends
kind of charm. Sure. She has that kind of charm.
She
as
does.
George has picked
I think
up.
a lot of people, want to see her keep working because she's able to play these different roles, and I think that's part of the reason that she'll get this award come Oscar time. So there's lots of different Oscar-worthy performances and films this year, but only one can be this year's Best Picture. Who will it be? So stay with us, because on the other side of this break, the panel will make their picks for Best Picture, as well as the 4 acting categories. You're watching the Entertainment Buzz 2017 Oscar Special, only on WOLV-TV.
Come create and calculate. Shatter both records and stereotypes. Build improbable machines and impossible medicines. Unleash masterpieces and birth theories. Come because there is much to be done out there, and to be undone. Come find out everything of which you are capable. Come believe in something greater than yourself. An experience unlike any other awaits you here. Here, dreams are in need of your voice. Fragile ideas await your strength. Come answer this call. Join this assembling of minds. Put your grand imagination to work. Come let your visions rattle these walls and help move the world forward. Come join the leaders and best, the victors valiant. Come to Michigan.
Welcome back to the Entertainment Buzz 2017 Oscar Special. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Who will take home a golden statue come Oscar Sunday? My fellow panelists and I will give our predictions for the 4 acting categories, as well as this year's Best Picture. Go ahead, Karen.
Well, to start us off, we're going to go for Best Supporting Actor, and my pick is Mahershala Ali.
I think I'm on board with that.
Yep.
Any disagreements on that?
I really have none.
Oh, really? Okay, I guess we could just skip past this one if we're
just
all.
leave that
I feel
one
like
there.
that's.
I mean, good for him. That's what you
I
want.
guess, yeah.
No, I just don't think anyone else was as strong. I think it was a small amount of time in the film, but it was really impactful, and I don't think anyone else got quite that well.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, so
Yeah, I think
we're
so.
on it. I'm thinking on board with that.
All right. So now, Supporting actress.
Supporting actress, you guys.
I'm going with Viola Davis.
Viola Davis.
I mean, it seems pretty clear to me. I think she just had an amazing performance. What does everyone else think?
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, Octavia Spencer, I would be a little surprised, but I can maybe see her pulling it out of the bag. She didn't win for The Help, and I remember that was a big deal because it was another impressive role. Not that other years necessarily make a difference, but Hidden Figures I thought was really powerful.
I think it's pretty cool that like both of the front runners are like this like these two amazing actresses that are both females of color.
Right.
Yes.
Like, we never like think of like okay it's between like
Well,
these
with Ruth
two.
Negga, 3/5 of the people nominated were people of color, which is great.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
It's true.
All right, moving on to Best Actor, and my prediction for Best Actor is Casey Affleck, Manchester by the Sea.
I'm gonna have to agree with that.
I'm just like way too obsessed with him right now. I don't know what it is.
I mean, he has
made
a
me a
Golden
huge
Globe.
fan. Yeah, I don't know. Also, he's got a nice face. Okay, the nice face isn't gonna get him the
I
award.
mean,
I'm actually going to disagree here.
Okay.
I'm going to go Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Okay.
I think the role was very real. I think the fact that he directed and played it on Broadway, I think he really connected with it, and I think people will go for Denzel because the name, the story, the performance, and the relationship with Viola Davis, I think that really could be a dark horse there.
It's not an easy role. He's sort of an unlikable
Yeah.
character, kind
Right.
of with everything he does. So yeah, to play it with that finesse, Denzel Washington was very good.
Absolutely.
Well, I can't wait to see that one. That'll be interesting. All right, moving on to Best Actress. My personal prediction, I think it's going to be Emma Stone.
Yeah,
I think she has it in the bag.
Yeah, Emma Stone
Yeah.
is. Yeah, this is the role that she needed to play if she
Yep.
wanted to get something like this. This is I'm on.
Does anyone disagree?
I think it's interesting that Elizabeth Hubbard won the Golden Globe, especially because not many people in the States necessarily saw Elle.
Yeah.
It was the French film. So it'll just be interesting if it keeps up her good luck.
It's true. You never know.
Yeah.
I feel like Emma's just like too popular. Right
I
now.
know,
I
she's
feel like that's the
killing
thing
it.
is if you see a lot of headlines with them, you can kind of see like okay, these are the people that are.
Yes.
Yeah, which kind of stinks that the media will just like make that.
Right.
They decide basically because it's
the
like
way
they
it
decide it's
works.
public. But I don't know. I really like her.
You
too,
never
so
know.
She's pretty cute.
Finally, we have Best Picture. I'd like to say that Arrival will win. Not gonna lie, I think that's my pick. I thought it did a good job of kind of going above the tropes of science fiction. Science fiction is not easy to do well, and it was a very interesting movie. Kind of blew me away.
In a world where we're just seeing a lot of like old comic book movies becoming the sci-fi
Absolutely.
norm, I feel like that was an original idea. I
It
thought
was.
that-
Oh, yeah.
So like out of originality, sure, but I think it's gonna be La La Land.
I actually don't. I loved La La Land. It's probably my favorite from this year. I think Moonlight's going to win.
Okay.
I think it's the right time. I think it's the right moment, and I think it was the right movie. And I think they're going to walk away with it.
But I think you are wrong.
Do you think it's too artsy?
It might be. That's what I was
That's
saying.
the one
La La
detriment.
Land is also pretty artsy.
Yeah,
But
you know,
it's a musical.
It's a
Yeah, I
musical
feel
about
it's
Hollywood.
mainstream.
They
Hollywood, yeah.
love musicals.
That's true.
Yeah, especially like when you have these two specific actors as
Right.
leads, and you're having a musical, and you're having like this story that is literally about like everything that the Oscars stand for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they
Also,
are.
Damien
gonna pick it.
Chazelle has been kind of on a hot streak
Yes.
with Whiplash
That is
winning
true.
several.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true. There's a lot of different things to look at, a lot of great movies.
Oh, yeah.
But unfortunately, our time's up. So that does it for this week's special episode of the Entertainment Buzz right here on WOLV-TV. I'd like to thank our panelists, George, Marie, Karen, as well as everyone else on our crew for joining us on our 2017 Oscar special. So don't forget to catch the 89th Annual Academy Awards on ABC on Sunday, February 26th, to see which of our panelists made the best predictions. To stay up to date with EBUZZ, be sure to check out vimeo.com/WOLV-TV. You can also shoot us an email at wolv.ebuzz@umich.edu, and be sure to like us on our Facebook page as well. For the entire cast and crew, I'm Jake Ferguson, and you've just been buzzed.